Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Outside the Field. We are going to go over the week 6 lessons for you guys today. As always, Chris Weideman, Jacoby Crabtree over there, and we got a lot to tell you today, hopefully, but we're going to try to make it a little quick, guys. We know the videos have been a little long lately, so we're going to try to speed it up. So, what do you want to say before we get into our episode today, Mr. Jacoby?
Well, this is not really a lesson, but it kind of is at the same time. But I just want to start it off by saying Chris and I don't know jack.
Wait, no. Speak for you. I know something. I feel like I have a good idea of what's going on, guys.
Hey, listen, you were 4 for 8.
4 for 9.
No, you counted Ricky Seals. That you cheater.
No, I told you I was counting Ricky Seals.
No, you were 3 for 8, sir. Don't even try to cheat. I told you guys he tried to do this. He was 3 for 8, and I was 1 for 8. Oh, lordy. Yeah, I just meant to, flip-flop my guys. So, on my start and sit, I accidentally put the guy I wanted to start at the sit spot and the guy who actually wanted to sit at the start.
And you know what really didn't happen, which was a little sad? Jared Cook did not bust all over the place for us all weekend, man. He let us down. But that being said, guys, we'll hop in. We'll get started with the week 6 lessons. It was a tough start sit, guys, but hopefully your teams made it out all right despite our calling that, which will get better. Before that, I was doing really good. Jacob had been letting you down, so we're really not that surprised at this point of the season.
I haven't been letting myself down. 2 teams that are 6-0, 2 that are 5-1, and my one team that I was 1-3 in. Now I'm 3-3. Let's go.
But week 6 lessons, guys. Obviously, we're starting to get some more clarity with the season. Maybe not on who to start, but we'll talk about this in the start episode. Actually, I don't know why I'm trying to jump the gun, but Marquise Brown, guys, and Michael Pittman. These 2 guys for their ADP were way over playing their ADP. They were ballers. Michael Pittman had kind of been a locked and loaded receiver 2. Marquise Brown had honestly been a receiver 1 for you. But Bateman came back for Baltimore and T.Y. came back for Indy. And you saw that those guys' massive target shares had kind of literally been split in half and gone like 50 this way, 50 that way. So this is something we definitely need to monitor and maybe just have a little worry going throughout the season. So if you could maybe try to flip them real quick and get some nice value, it's maybe something that I would look to do just because it doesn't look like their target shares are guaranteed anymore. How did you feel about this playing out, Crabtree?
Yeah, we'll talk more about it in trade talks, but I definitely am a little worried about Marquise Brown. Bateman, I'm getting those, not this season obviously, because Allen Robinson has been, per his ADP, a bust. But for most of his career, Allen Robinson's been a really solid guy, and I'm getting the word around the town as I'm hearing Bateman's got that kind of a super consistent, decent at all of this, every aspect. Not great, but not bad. So yeah, Bateman's a real deal.
I think so. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say about that.
Yes, sir. Chris, before we jump into, I think we have 5 lessons that we're going to talk about, maybe plus or minus 1. But before we go into it, I just had a quick question. Is there I talk about how my teams are doing in fantasy all the time, and I give an update to the viewers on Wilson, and I'm just curious, I never hear you talk about your team and how they're doing, and what your record is. So,
right,
I don't know. I just, for somebody that just kills it with the starts and sits, I just was wondering what.
Okay. I will let the viewers quickly know my records and explain my situation. But first, I think first and foremost, this is actually how we were supposed to start the episode. So don't think I forgot. I wrote it down, y'all. I believe you owe everyone an apology, so I would like I'm going to formally give you the stage, and you're going to issue the apology and tell anyone that if they traded them for a lesser value, you owe them an apology. If they sat this player at all because of you, you owe them an apology. I would like you to apologize to every person watching right now.
Guys, I've been telling you all year that Zeke's a bust. And this week, I actually went out and traded for him. I traded for him because I believe. But I just traded him away because it's all going downhill now. No, Zeke has proven me wrong. Up until this point in the season, he has been what you drafted him to be, and it'll be interesting to see if it continues. It looks like it will. And I think I may have been wrong,
May?
but we'll see.
No,
We'll see.
I think you're very wrong about Zeke. All right, guys, we're going to quickly go over it. I have 2 leagues I'm 0-6 in. One is a dynasty I'm purposely tanking. The other is a keeper league, but I kind of sold out last year. Like, I sold a lot of my picks this year, so I could try to win last year. So that team is also 0-6, and now we are going to tank for next season in that league. I have one league, it's 1-5, guys. I will not even lie to you. I straight up messed up on this. It was a dynasty startup draft, guys. I was not in shape at all. I had not even looked at fantasy for a while. And then I picked it. I was called by this man, finessed into a draft. And so now that team's kind of in shambles, and I'm not even glad, guys. I don't know how long I'll stay in that league. I'm not gonna lie. But fourth and final league, guys, is my hometown 8-man league. I have easily the greatest team ever assembled in this league. But like, guys, I have literally scored the second most points, but have the second most points scored against me. 2 people ahead of me in the rankings in my division have scored 100 points less, but had 300 less points scored on them. So it's just, I've got fucked. So that also brings me into the final thing. Next year, when you're considering your fantasy leagues, talking about the rules, guys, I think you should try to bring this to every league you're in. I'm personally going to try to bring it to every league I'm in. A game against the average. I think that it's a more accurate way to show the rankings throughout the season. And I think if you're that team who, like, we have one guy in our league who literally every single year has like 400 points more scored on him than any other team. So I mean, he'd probably have a better record. I mean, he's not a good fantasy player, but anyways. So I think you should try to add 2 games a week, one against your opponent, one against the league average, and I think that's a really good rule that really helps out fantasy.
So in our keeper league that you're 0-6 in, and you're saying that you gave up all these picks to, or not these picks this year, but you're trying to go for next year, just because you lost it all before it even started. Wasn't there another guy that you were like going up against that did the same thing?
Just the editor?
Just the editor? Oh, our editor? Our former editor?
Oh. Okay. We're gonna hop right back into the rankings, guys. We're sorry about this diversion. Okay. So Burrow and the Bengals offense, guys, I think that they're really turning a page. I believe they're 4-2. They're either 3-3 and 4-2, but they're honestly off to a really strong start this season, guys. The defense is actually pretty decent. They're not good. They're not bad. So they're going to be good enough to help out this offense. The offense is cooking, guys. I think Burrow's really starting to show that he's like getting away from that injury and looking healthy. He looks like he has great connections with all of his pass catching options. Mixon obviously had an explosion and has a really nice upcoming schedule for you. So if you have Burrow, Chase, Higgins, or Mixon, I probably feel really, really good going forward. Honestly, if you have Boyd and the right person's on the waiver wire, you can drop Boyd. Like, we're done with Boyd. And no.
I don't know if you can drop him because if one guy gets hurt, like he's instantly put back in there, you know.
So is he like one of the rare receiver handcuffs you might like keep on a roster?
Yeah, that sounds so weird to say, but like yeah, like he put up back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. Like it's He's good. It's just he's got better people in front.
He does.
Uh, it sucks because any other like team, he's probably like a really solid receiver too.
He really
No,
is.
I agree with that. I already told you guys about one of my lessons this week. Zeke is not a bust. I know I was joking about it, but we'll talk more a little. We'll get more into it right now. Yeah, he's proven me wrong. He's just consistently put up the numbers that you expect from him. Um, Honestly, I didn't see it coming this year. I really didn't. I thought it'd be more throwing left and right with Dak coming back, but they're really focusing in on running the ball this year, and it's working. Dallas is cooking something interesting down there, and it may not seem like it, and they may not be like a sexy pick for a Super Bowl contender, but like they got high expectations, and I would not be shocked to see them go far this year. So
Um, is Amari Cooper kind of the odd man out right now in that offense?
I have to believe like if I was on the coaching staff, like I would want him to be the third or fourth option. Like me and Chris were talking earlier, like has Schwartz like come in and taken Amari Cooper's like targets, and like at first I was like, no, no way. But like if you like really think about it, like it would make a lot of sense. Like C.D. Lamb, you invested this high draft pick on this
Who's supposed to
receiver.
be
You
like a
give him
generational receiver too.
and you give him the famous 88 number of Dallas Cowboys. Only great receivers for Dallas have worn that. You got Des Bryant. You got not I don't know why
Michael
else.
Irving.
Michael Irving. Yes, I don't know why my head just went straight to Deion Sanders. That's so weird. He's a safety. Anyways,
You need a cornerback?
cornerback. Dude, I'm sorry. My head's all over the place. Anyways, but like the greats of the greats have worn that number, and like you got to think that they're investing all this money and time into him. Like that's who they want to be. Plus, Amari Cooper has a huge contract that they're about to start paying. I think you told me 20 million a year starting next year. It would only make sense to cut him or trade him if you have somebody as in Schultz who can pick up the slack. Michael Gallup, who's still a solid receiver too, that can fill in the gaps, and then Zeke,
And
who's
I mean, Cedric Wilson doesn't even look bad when they throw him the ball either. I mean,
so honestly, if I was a coach on this coaching staff, I would be trying to implement all the rest of these guys first because I'd be trying to trade Amari Cooper at the end of the season or cut him. That's me personally.
I gotta agree with that. So I mean, I'm not saying that Amari won't have his days going forward because there's gonna have days where people will really key in on the run game or they'll key in on C.D. Lamb. But I do think that Amari's days of being a receiver one or kind of like up in that range is kind of gone, at least right now. So I agree with that take. So I think that's something you can kind of look forward to. Also, talk about struggling receivers. You got some others you have a little shakiness of faith in right now?
Let me take a peek at my rankings real quick. This is
Potentially in
something
the northeast of our country.
northeast. Are you talking about
Sorry,
Devontae?
northwest. Sorry, northwest.
I don't know who you're talking about.
In Seattle.
Oh yes. I'm sorry. He's got it on his, and I don't have it on mine. But no, yes, I am very concerned moving forward with Seattle receivers. I think that we should all lower our expectations and just realize who is throwing the ball. Geno Smith he's obviously a backup for a reason. He doesn't excite me as a thrower. He's nowhere close to Russell Wilson, and I think even with Russell Wilson, DK Metcalf was kind of more of a hit than a miss, but he was kind of a hit or miss just because has problems dropping the ball. He had it last year. It's not as bad this year, but still those issues. He's flashy. Tyler Lockett's kind of the same deal. I think they're both kind of very similar players, but DK Metcalf's instead of a small guy like Tyler Lockett, obviously a bigger guy. So yeah, I'm concerned. I would lower expectations going forward until Russell Wilson gets back. So if he's your receiver one right now. Just kind of hold on tight until Russell gets back.
I think that's fair, and Tyler Lockett's kind of a player I've been dropping for a little bit. I just think, when he hits, he really hits, but more times than not, he's going to bust, and I just don't know if I'm confident enough to put him in my lineup for 3 weeks for him to tank me 2 weeks and let him win me one matchup. So I guess it's kind of a risk and take you take with Lockett. So I mean, if he's your flex, it'd be fine. But I mean, really putting him anywhere else, I kind of really struggle with. But on
You
the,
think Tyler Lockett's gonna bust this week?
I hope so. I hope so for my man. I really do. But moving on. Jalen Waddle, guys, I think it's time. This is honestly the receiver I personally had the most hope and expectations coming into out of the rookie class. I know everyone was on the Jamar Chase train. I was never really on the. I don't think anyone's like super in on the Devontae Smith train, but I think Jalen Waddle is that guy. He's got his man Tua. Tua's finally back, and he heavily targeted him in a big way. Will Fuller obviously is never healthy. Devontae Parker struggles to stay healthy. They don't really have a lot of confidence in anybody in the run game. So, I mean, it's kind of Jalen Waddle's offense right now. It seems like he's going to be their main target and it's going to funnel through him. So, I think this is kind of where he picks up in the season, guys. So, if you could potentially go get him on the cheap, I think it's a player I might look to go acquire.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I was 100% not in on the Waddle train at all. Dude, he's good. He's good. That's all I got to say.
Yeah. Sweet. You got anything else you want to talk about that you picked up from week 6, or we gotta let them get out of here early today?
I think I owe some viewers an apology for Taylor Heineke. I expect very, very big things from him this weekend, and if he doesn't show up this week, tears are gonna go down my face. But he may lose his starting job, guys.
Who would you talk about
That's
at the
why I
quarter?
expect him to blow up this week, boys.
Who else
And
would you talk
bro,
about at the quarterback position every single episode?
I have to. I just in spite of that fantasy league that I'm in.
All
They
right.
cost me a first round pick.
Uh,
I'll get one.
all right, guys. Well, we really appreciate you tuning in today. I saw him for a second now, and I'm feeling really good about that. But thank you everyone for tuning in today. We really appreciate you guys. We'll catch you tomorrow for waiver wires. Tell you who to pick up.
Yes, sir.
Once again, it's going to be some unknown motherfuckers. Ooh. But thank you guys. Please hit the like and subscribe. Jacob, send us out.
Love you all. Goodbye.